This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes, the 13 Star Optimus Prime, who will, in likelihood, be referred to as Star Convoy for the majority of this review. So we just got a whole bunch of artwork on the front. This one at least is a little bit more interesting than some of the previous bits of artwork, but not a whole lot. If we look at the side, we get a nice picture of him in robot mode reaching out like some kind of horror figure. On the other side, we get a look at the primes and himself, sort of, because when you look at this design, he looks like a combination of the Star Convoy and Power Master, or God Ginry figures. Then at the top here, we get to see all of the primes again. You know, this is the only one of the primes that I've picked up, too. On the back, we get lots of product shots. You'll note that the core class hot rod on this one has to sit down in Convoy's chest, where in the original Star Convoy, he stood up in it. So while this figure is probably going to be way too big to start with, it's not even going to be as big as it should be. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? Okay. You know, I didn't even see this thing until I moved it. Oh, it seems pretty obvious we're gonna have to raise this thing. Wow, he is a big boy. I don't think I've tried to do a Titan class before, and wow, this is just not going to be easy, is it? I've already got this zoomed out. Well, first and foremost, let's go ahead and hook these in place. Where'd the other one go? Oh. Well, at least it's got wheels on it. How cool would it have been if they'd managed to actually make it so that this thing actually worked with electronics? Oh shit, there's even more rubber bands on the sucker. Trying to follow the damn... Ow! Trying to follow the damn rubber bands, man. What a pain in the ass. Okay. So let's start out with some of the obvious here. He needs to have his little shoulder guns put in place. Oh, they moved too. Look at that. I was not actually expecting them to do that. Need to add his little antennae, so he looks even more like a Gundam. Do I have these up? Wait, hold on. No, that's gotta be right. Why doesn't this want to fit? Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. That was a pain in the ass. Alright. Let's talk about his head sculpt here for a moment. He does in fact look like a Gundam. Oh, and those things actually raise and lower. And we're a pain in the butt to get in there. I think I would have preferred light piping, to be perfectly honest, as an effect on this guy. Oh wait, maybe there is some light piping. Okay, so there may actually be light piping, but I don't have a light that will, to light it up with. Because it does look like there's a clear section up at the top there. Guns move up and down. Let's go ahead and do the articulation real quick, maybe. This is how you open up his chest plate for Rodimus, Hot Rod to fit into. Which, real quick. Actually, let's set this. Oh, we'll do the articulation here. Head spins around. I'm not sure what kind of joint's in the head, but it's not really moving up, down, or sideways very much. In fact, I think that's mostly me moving the plastic. But it does spin around, and the antenna keep falling. Shoulders hinge out. With this thing, which is probably part of transformation, you can get out even further. I think if we take the gun out, though, we could get the top part of the shoulder to move about the same amount, actually, so that doesn't really matter. We get a spin there, and those are some pretty nice ratchet-sounding joints. Like ratchet joints. Elbow bends at 90 degrees. We have a spin at the bicep. The fist also spins, which we haven't seen that in a while, I feel like. The hands do open and close. Although this may be the first Prime that doesn't come with a matrix to actually put in his hands. And again, just looking at this guy, this really does feel like a little bit too big, right?
I apologize for the audio right now, but I just wanted to point out here that the Megatron standing in front of the Star Optimus Prime is supposed to be his arch nemesis in that continuity. At least in the original one. So yeah, he's a little big, isn't he? And I doubt they're going to give us that version of Megatron at a size that compares with Prime. Although that would be cool if they did.
We can spin at the waist. We can move the shoulder skirt up and the side skirt sideways. So we can kick out nice and far. You can get forward about this far. Oh, there we go. You can get forward that far. Oops. And you can get back that far. This is why I miss pinned-in joints, by the way. We can bend at the knee. If we take the treads off, we can get a slightly further bend. We do have a thigh cut. And we do have a pretty nice ankle rocker going on here. Though it doesn't move forward or back at all. And I was kind of wondering if these would act as spurs, but they do not. Heel spurs. Okay, so I kind of feel like they gave him the bare minimum of articulation. So while we still got him in robot mode, I want to take a quick look at the Hot Rod Core Class figure. Zoom. Okay, so this is our Core Class Hot Rod from the Age of the Primes Titan Class Star Optimus Prime, or Star Convoy. Vehicle mode looks pretty okay. I mean, he does resemble Hot Rod quite a bit. Not sure why we have these empty spots, though, in his spoiler. The underside looks like a Core Class Transformer. No real hidden stuff. Kibble abounds. His wheels are all pinned on, but he mostly rolls like crap. And he started in vehicle mode. So let's see if we can transform him. I'm sure this is going to be a difficult task. And boom, we have him in robot mode. So generally it looks like they had improved the Star Convoy vehicle mode from the pictures on the box and the production shots. But they decided not to improve Hot Rod's vehicle mode. Because like with the original toy, the spoilers are still attached to his legs, and I see no real reason why they couldn't have gone ahead and make that like maybe removable and be able to be put up on the back or something. Like, I'm all for improving some of these designs. Articulation wise, nothing at the head. Arms spin around. They kind of move out a little bit because he does have ball joints there. Single hinge or single ball joint at the elbow. It can spin. That's about it. He can kick forward yay far. And he can kick back yay far. And he can kick out. At least he's got a decent out kick going on. Especially if you get his arms out of the way. We got a single bend at the knee, and because of the way he transforms, he can get a way better than 90 there. And he has no ankle rockers. Now, the thing to remember with him, though, is that he is the pilot of Gundam Optimus Prime here. Apparently, you need to sit him like this for him to sit in there. And unfortunately, you cannot close up the chest when he's sitting in there. Now, as you might recall from my review of the original toy, or the reissue of the original toy, he stood up inside, and, you know, you could close everything around him. Not so much with this one. So as we get him back into robot mode here, we're going to take a moment to discuss the little truck thing that he comes with. Now, in the original... Alrighty. Apparently this can turn into a foot of a giant robot. In the original Star Optimus, or Star Convoy figure, this thing would launch Hot Rod. But in this version, he just fits in there and can be transported around like this. It does have real working wheels. That are pinned on and suck balls. Of course, you can take the gun thing that'll go in his vehicle mode, Prime's vehicle mode, attach this here, and there's apparently no way to have Hot Rod hold on to this thing. Like the original one, there was a little disc and he just plugged into it and then rode it so that if it moved, he moved. Apparently they did not do that with this one. I thought maybe there'd be like some tabs to go on to, or slots for these tabs here. There does not appear to be. So yeah, that's kind of crappy-tastic. I'm not really sure what this piece is supposed to... Oh, this is the hilt for the sword. So you can turn his special effects into a sword blast if you want, or a sword if you want. That's stupid. Alright, let's try transforming our convoy here. Oh, that's weird. Ah. Shoulder panels fall down. So that helps fill in some of the gap there. So then there's probably, yep, little panels in there that open up as well. So this way he doesn't have that huge, the huge gap in between the truck and the rest of it like the previous one did, or the original version. And there, we're done. No, wow. Now I'd like to remind you all, this was in fact the thing I was looking the most forward to. I think I got that backwards. Let's lower this down again. Okay, so there we have him in his vehicle mode. His big old gun, which we didn't talk about earlier. Surprisingly, it's a large gun that does not come apart, which is rare, I feel like, in Transformers. This keeps on popping loose whenever you do anything. Once again, we have that one back gun, which... This should plug into here somehow. Wow, it does not want to go in place. Maybe... that doesn't help either. What the heck? We'll have to check the directions on that one. But let's talk about this thing. Much like the original version, obviously it's not going to fit in here because why would they actually improve that issue also? So you just have to basically stick it in there and close his leg like so. And that apparently doesn't want to work properly either. Wow, this one's batting 1,000 right now. Oh, that way wasn't gonna work. So we got these two slots here, which obviously go into there. There we go. We really had to force that in there. Alright, of course, would be in there, or you could stick them in here if you wanted. We are going to do neither. And, mostly, looking at this, the front wheels roll. These ones sometimes hit the ground. You know, honestly, without the action feature on this one, this toy kind of sucks. I mean, let's be honest, the design for Star Convoy was already kind of iffy to start with, and that was when it was designed to go with the action features. This one is just a ugly mess, and we already are having problems trying to attach stuff to where it should go. Like, these feet should lay down. The only time I was able to actually get this in place is when I had them up. Okay. So if we have them up and then put this down, it will work. But once again, there is nowhere to attach Hot Rod to that to man the gun. So again, that's stupid. I don't know why they did it that way. But aside from that, right, so this thing doesn't even spin all the way around anymore like it did in the original toy. The guns here can still spin and raise and lower. This gun obviously can spin around a little bit, but a couple of these tabs block it from going all the way around. And I'm so far kind of disappointed in this one. This was one that I was really, really looking forward to, and it's just not living up to any expectations. I didn't have huge expectations either because I do have the original toy, but this one is still like blah. Now let's see if we can figure out the base mode. I'm probably gonna need to look at the picture again here. That old-fashioned joy of trying to get the fists back out after you've put them in place. Oh, that's why he didn't have a thingy. A thingy. That's why he didn't have a ball joint, because his head hinges forward in order to hide the face in base mode. Which is, again, kind of dumb when you consider that the hands are visible in base mode. Hold on. Oh, hold on. It looks like oh my god. I'm gonna break this thing trying to get this thing taken apart. Do anything. Ow. That felt awful. there a... Nope. There's, however, a slot there. Nope, definitely looks like we need to have... Can I just say how awful this is right now? Okay. So we got that part of the base mode done. Put his gun in place there. Apparently, based on the picture I'm looking at, apparently this whole thing frickin' falls apart. And this is now a laser blast tower. Okay. Is that still in view? Yeah, okay. Let's set this aside. In order to replicate the original toy features. Ah, okay. Oh, for goodness sake. Ah. Alright, so we have this here like this. That thing slides like that. Then the whole tread moves like that. Plug that together. It looks like this is probably supposed to fit into there now. It's kind of making me wish I'd brought the other Optimus Prime or Star Convoy to compare this to. You know, alright, so this plugs into here. This at least has kind of replicated that thing. But again, there does not seem to be a way for Hot Rod to hold on to that. To spin around. I don't know, does this fit back here somehow? Nope. So we also have this thing. Which, I don't know what the hell they're calling this, but I call it stupid thus far. Apparently this does not attach to anything as far as I can tell. I have no idea what that's for. Doesn't even look like the peg hole. Hold on. Like, I thought these things would go together, but... Now, some of the images I saw look like this thing's supposed to sit inside. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey. Maybe we finally have a use for this thing. So instead of the Matrix, Optimus Prime here has a marble in his chest. I wonder if that closes up then. Yeah, looks like it can close up with that in place. So that takes up Hot Rod's seat. This is like the hardest plastic I've ever seen in a blast effect. And And it always shows it coming out of the gun, so it goes there. And then obviously the other blast effects just hook up like normal. But they're always too heavy. But again, I think this is supposed to make up the blast effect sword. So it looks like we pretty much got the transformations correct, minus the fact that Hot Rod apparently does not attach to anything like he should. And we still got those compatibility things where you're supposed to be able to hook up the core class transformers that had parts of bridges to them or other combiner modes. How many people actually combine they're not combiners, but how many people actually combine the different sets of Titan classes? I'm kind of curious about that one for sure. I'm betting not a whole hell of a lot do. Still don't understand what the point of this little missile is. Does it fit into here? Nope. Okay, well. I'm going to go take a look at the directions now and see what we missed. Okay, one detail. Apparently, if you look here, there's like a little peg thingy there, or a hole. Apparently, you can peg them in there. Then, nope, guess not. So we can stand on Optimus Prime's arm. Also, this big ass peg hole here, apparently that fits in the front of the front large hole in vehicle mode. Here's apparently another thing we can do, which seems kind of stupid. Hold on. Okay, according to these directions, this is supposed to fit into here. And allow you to attach these guns together like this. But that does not actually work. And I'll show you guys right here. Well, so that was a fail. What the hell? So that... With the wonky way that the front of this is designed, I thought maybe it would push all the way through to that square, but apparently it doesn't do that either. Nope. Alright, another thing that we found that I noticed looking at the directions. Well... Supposedly, with his spurs down, so apparently with his spurs down, he can hold on to this like this. Wait a minute, let me see. Oh, for f***'s sake. Well, that'll fit on there like that, but that is not how the direction showed. That's the only... What a mess this thing is. There we go. So their images are really... They don't know what the hell they're doing, apparently. Alright, so we did see earlier where you can use the flame effects to make the sword. But also, the reason why that one is so stiff is so that you can make a club out of it. You know, there are some times when I gotta say, I think they're trying way too hard with these things. This sort of thing looks stupid. I still have not found in the directions what this thing is supposed to do. Like, it literally attaches to nothing that I've seen. Okay, so we've gone back to this. I pushed the spurs in a little bit. Oh, for God's sake. I just want to say they really should have put something here for him to grip onto on the top. And that worked about as well as I expected. So, what we are left with here is a whole bunch of garbage. Yeah. I am just not very impressed with this guy. The articulation is actually really good, especially compared to the original, but it's not like great or anything. They didn't like go leaps and bounds to try to make it better. We still have that one part that no matter how many times I look at the direction sheet here, I do not see where it goes. If anybody knows where it goes, please tell me. I may have to try looking at some other people's reviews after this just to figure that out. But they really needed something for Hot Rod to hold on to at the top of this thing. Not just hope and pray that his spur stayed in place. That was stupid. The Hot Rod figure, there's no reason why they couldn't have improved it and like moved these to the back somehow. So that looks awful. Like, I have like 2 of almost every Hot Rod that they've made in order to display both forms because I like his vehicle mode quite a bit. This one, I don't think obviously I don't think I'd be buying a second one to this one. But yeah, so the Hot Rod figure is not even all that great for a core class because they have done better. The blast effects, I don't care about blast effects anymore. Like, we know that the plastic interacts with the other plastic and causes problems, so you don't really want to use blast effects for long term, which is probably why this one is as solid as it is so that you can display this as a sword and not have it eat away at the plastic. Some of the other crap that they tried to do with this. Hey, there we go. I figured out where it goes, even though the directions didn't say. At least I didn't see it in the directions. I don't know what the point of that was. That's kind of dumb. Alright. It's supposed to be a bullet in the chamber. But I think that's it. I think if I were you guys, and you don't have this already, maybe wait to see if it goes on clearance. Unless you're planning on trying to get all 13 primes. Me, I don't really care about the other ones. And this is the first of the 13 primes or 14 primes, or whatever the hell it is at this point, that I've actually gotten. Because this is the only one I cared about at all. But let me know what you guys all think in the comments below. Because, man, what a mess this one is. Just, like I said, robot mode looks good. Vehicle mode, I mean, it mostly mimics the previous version. Without the play features, though, I definitely don't think that this is all that great. The base mode was already lacking in the original version, and that's when it actually did something. And if you did enjoy this look at this mess of a transformer, please feel free to transform that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.